must go. Spreading the culture all over the world. For all the good things that you done for God, that's why we thanking you. We thanking you, brother.
A pleasant morning, Dominica. Good morning, Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to a special Creole Heartbeat program on the big, the big, yes, the big station Q95 FM. And we are going to really be going through the WCMF lineup this year. 25th anniversary, the World Creole Music Festival started in 1997. And for those who may not be aware, a few years there were no editions. I think Erica and I think the COVID-19 here and possibly Maria. As a result, the 25th anniversary is actually this year in terms of editions of the World Creole Music Festival. And we are here with a heavyweight champion, one who has been at the helm of the World Creole Music Festival for several years. He'll actually tell us how many years he has been at the helm of the World Creole Music Festival. And Ian Jackson, one who has been around for possibly 4 decades, putting the information together, Creole news, cultural news, whatever it is, once it relates to the arts and culture of Dominica. Ian Jackson is always there. He's a songwriter, he's a teacher. And we are just going to look at the World Creole Music Festival lineup in 2025. No malice meant, but just some objective observations as to the lineup this year. Good morning to you, my brother. Welcome.
Good morning to you, Alex, and thank you very much for having me here.
Just recently, I was looking at a picture where you were in the goalkeeper.
And Franklin Moses in the next one.
And Franklin Moses at the next goal. You know, these were the days. I really feel we should bring back those days, of camaraderie. Too much tension, Manval, in the place. Lots of tension, political tension. Sometimes you have to do a little for balance it a little. Lots of stress. People are just dying, falling down. I mean, life is so, it's like as if life is just going away. Gone are the days when you would hear someone is sick or ill and they would possibly recover. Most times you hear someone is ill, they're actually going under. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a time to call for direction, spiritual direction. What do you think?
Well, I do believe so. Before we start, I just want to give God thanks for this day for bringing us here together. Without him, we don't exist. So we're happy for our lives and for being on Q95 to discuss this rather important topic. Also want to extend my condolences to the family and friends of the late Jeffrey Brisbane, who passed on, and he was one of the giants of our cultural heritage in terms of his work in Carnival and the World Creole Music Festival as well, which we'll be discussing as well. So definitely, I think we had a crossroads in our country.
Yeah.
We have to be able to identify whether we want to be in heaven or we want to be in hell. So
I love that.
So it's up to each individual person to look at their senses and to figure out what is best for them. And I'll just encourage each and every one of us who are believers to keep praying and to keep asking God for the guidance and the strength that we need so that we can continue to live this life in this country.
The World Creole Music Festival, you had several stints at the head of this prestigious organization. Tell us about that now.
It began for me as a learning experience. It started way back with this is Eddie Tulo. Actually, he was the one together. This is Loftus Emmanuel who introduced me into doing show business, into producing big events. So then when the time came around in terms of being part of the whole process and setting up, Eddie was in charge, and I was just being around, just trying to learn the ropes. And then my turn came after Mr. Jeffrey's contract was over, and then I became the executive director. I did the best I could at the time with the resources that were available. I had several stints, as I said, because I'm one who don't believe that the top brass should be intervening in what has to be done. If it's my face, if it's my name, I want to be the one that will make the decisions and to be able to move. So we had a lot of interactions. Some I think I had to ask God pardon for in terms of in and out, but that was part of my journey. So, but I'm grateful for the experience that I got from the festivals. Being the person in charge there for a number of years, and even after I think that it's just one of the events, the COVID or Maria, I
Yeah.
was brought back as a consultant as well to work with the group. So it's always a pleasure to assist. I mean, you cannot keep all the information you have in your head, and once I'm asked, I will do the best I can to support.
You listen to the lineup, Val, and what you make of it overall. We'll kind of dissect, genre by genre as we move along. But your overall impressions, 25 and 25. What's your overall impressions?
I think it's a lineup that is well balanced in terms of providing the food for the music that people want to appreciate at this point in time. We have to understand that there's an evolution going on in terms of the musical industry, not only in the various genres that we have now. So there are people that may like one over the other, but you have to understand that once you're putting together a lineup, you have to have the A-listers, the people that will bring in the crowds, the person that will bring in the 10,000 and bring in the media persons to be part of the activity, and that goes with what is happening there. But what I like is the balance, the in terms of the inclusion of a lot more of the local acts in terms of the Creole elements. I like the idea of bringing back the nostalgic reggae feel. You know that I mean, in the early days, Steel Pulse was one of the bands that really made Dominica their home. You cannot fault any show you have, and with Roman Virgo on it. So he has his own following. The Compa segment, if New Look, they came to Dominica several times. They did very
Yeah.
well. I think the Afrobeat with Savage is not a bad ploy. As I said, Gordon, Ophelia, Chubby, WCK. I'm a little in terms of WCK. What I would have rather, I think that they should have broken an arrangement where for the WCK band we would have gotten the original WCK
With Derek
with Derek
Rapids.
Peters. I think that would have been a fantastic idea. And it's not too late. Just put everybody to sit down together. And this is the 25th anniversary. You guys need to let bygones be bygones. And as you said earlier, people are dying too quickly. So whatever is the problem, let's for the sake of the music, come on and do it. It will be very nice. I mean, I have no problem with Nai or Clint or any other of the new wave WCK, but it would have been a good thing to see at least for that one moment, for the sake of the country and the industry, that they could come together. You cannot fault Signal Band, Triple K, the Asa Bantons of Asa Banton and his work. So clearly, this sort of opportunity, the nasty business, the guys have been making their waves across the region. That is what the young people are into. I hope that this opportunity for them will help them to grow their musical progress, and to probably redirect some of their energy musically into things that are palatable not only for their own generation, but something that could live long after the music dies down. Because music has a nice little shelf life, especially once it catches on. I lament the fact that we don't have calypso.
Yeah. What's your take on that? The fact that Calypso used to be, as a matter of fact, from year one, always part. As a matter of fact, it used to be on playback, if you recall those early days, and then later band swinging stars or fanatic band would accompany some of the Calypsonians. But in the latter years, absolutely no Calypso. What's your take on this?
It's regrettable. It is totally a slap in the face of the people that support Dominica's carnival. Calypso is an integral part of our carnival and Creole culture. It's what made and Calypso the
Yeah.
fusion. You cannot not let that Calypso be on that big stage in front of all international media. I mean, Sparrow turned 90. He won many crowns, and he's world champion of Calypso. You cannot dispute the fact who the emperor of Calypso in Dominica is. And I think that's the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that King Dice will have to be. You cannot call Calypsonians on the program without mentioning King Dice. And because of the years of the way that his songs have been, he has been a champion for justice, for change, and that is affecting the whole dimension for Calypso. But I still believe that that is not too late to correct a wrong. Calypso should be on the World Music Festival, as well as we should go back to the forecourt for me was the place where the traditional culture was also being featured highly along in on the main stage. You know, you had your tradi bells, you had your pay-bush drummers, you had your this, your that. I need to see a lot more of that sort of Creole element being focused and things. So what we have now is the forecourt itself is a lot of is the same energy, you know, the same noise you're going to be hearing. And we should really kind of create a sort of ambianic sort of a feel, you know, that will say that this is what Dominica has to offer. That is on a different element, but when you go on the inside, so yet before all this been said, I still believe that Dominica's World Music Festival is the number one festival in the Caribbean in the region. You will recognize that in October when the tens of thousands will come in. There's nothing like what happens in Dominica, you know, and the others are trying to live up to that. But is the total experience you get from the time you land in Dominica and you come to the setup at the Windsor Park and Sports Stadium done by the festival's office is second to none, you know, and I think that the lineup with making some adjustments will help.
It's not too late for some adjustments.
It's not too late, I'm a bit concerned too that we have allowed the week of the festival to be driven by the same music, the same energy that we're calling for the weekend. I mean, there's only so much energy you can have, you know. I mean, unless you're drug induced and you figure out that you can stay no sleep for 48 hours, you know. So we have a whole week of activities. I hope that the Creole in the Park, you know, I don't like the fact that I have to see Signal and Triple K at the Creole
At those events,
and then have to still see them at Creole in the Park. You know, I think
you think everything should be held back, or these major bands should be held back for the World Creole Music Festival.
The same way we're saying to artists when we give them contracts, it's like, how would you feel if Vibes Cartel was performing in Guadeloupe on the Thursday night, you know, or the Friday night?
You think it defeats the purpose for the big stage?
There are other bands in Dominica. There's young bands, there are other young talent, there are other cultural groups. Give them that chance in the botanical gardens. I don't know why we have to have Signal Band, have Triple K, have Asa Banton. These are bands for the main stage. So keep them on the main stage. And that's my opinion.
By the way, Gordon Anderson is bigging us up from La Réunion here. Major performance in Reunion Island. And that's the strength of Cadastip. So the
Godfather.
Foundation of the World Creole Music Festival. Val, during your tenure, you tried several things. You tried creating a more international appeal. Are you satisfied where the festival is presently?
Not really. I think too we have been challenged with financially, so that has been a bit of a problem, you know, and that always is the problem. You know, how do you get the budget, the money that you need? And I think government has been trying their best over the last couple of years in terms of making it the best it can. We were struggling with the GCL contract for a number of years, where you know it was cash and in kind, and then it really was a tough road to deal with. So I think financially, the I would like to see the budget for this year. I keep hearing people talk about $13 million, but I don't think it's $13 million.
No,
I think it's probably much more than that. But I like to see.
You think it is much more than 13.4 million?
Well, of course. I mean, just if you look at the quality of the artists that we have coming and the numbers of them, you know, it just that might just be the performance fees for these people. You know, so there's also all the other factors, and I want to also see a new setup, you know, in terms of the Creole Music Festival, in terms of the stage, the lighting. You know, we at one point we were trying to move to the dome stage, the dome look stage and stuff like that.
I love the dome.
I think we should bring some.
I love the dome.
At least for this year, I would love to see two stages, you know, side by side. So once one guy is over, instead of that changeover, you have it on the other side. You know, I mean, they already set up, and then we could just rotate, move, you know, and then next one up, and that sort of thing. We should have been by that time being there. You know, the setup on the outside is a little challenging because you have the main road and stuff like that, and the parking issues and that you have to deal with, because it's going to be a real serious crowds that are going to have to deal with, you know. And I think Marvel and IO and the group, I know they have it in lockdown, because over the years, it has been a partnership. The Dominica Festivals Committee working with the Discover Dominica Authority. So what used to happen in my time is I was the executive director downstairs. Colin Piper was the CEO. So we had to deal with each other on a regular basis. I mean, I was a bit bullish, sometimes, but we dealt with each other and what had to make decisions and stuff like that.
Result oriented.
But that partnership has always been forged, so you had a good team upstairs. If them working there doing their marketing, with the experience of producing the activities, and now I think Ayu has come in at a time when she doesn't have as much of a team, so she's going to have to depend on the
experience of
Marva and everybody else to help guide the process, and stuff like that. There's I would want to see as well what the change of the dimension of the Dominica Festivals Committee. I think we had a time where, if you look at our lineup, I would have asked many persons from the DFC already that they have been there for too long. They don't understand the music industry. They don't understand that it is evolving. So they are stuck in their ways. I mean, I would change everything. I mean, there's no need to hide the fact, that it's now to give the young people an opportunity. You can mix this with the old, but you need to give. We need young people to take chairmanship. We need young people to take on marketing. We need young people to put them in these positions now and guide them. You cannot hold on forever. I mean, I don't want to be seeing the launch of the Creole Music Festival as the same starrings all the time. The movie has moved to a new level. That's nothing for me. So all in all, I think that if they reasonably put things in perspective, we could have a good festival. But I want to see the some small changes, in terms of the calypso, in terms of the presentation on the park, in terms of the marketing tour. Yes, we have Guadeloupe and Martinique. We have to be very careful because a lot of the people in the diaspora who used to come down with their green cards will be afraid to come down with their green cards because not know what Uncle Trump might say. So people may have their green cards, don't want to travel. So we may lose
skeptical.
We may lose some people. Just same thing is happening for Labor Day, because the people that go to Labor Day are not the people with passports most times. People that just there and are hang out. So a lot of things are happening in the dynamic.
We have to get accustomed to the changes.
So we have to go beyond Guadeloupe now, get to all the other islands in the Caribbean,
close proximity
to come to us and stuff like that, and to make waves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good morning, Ian Jackson. Welcome to Creole Heartbeat. What's up, my friend?
Yeah, thank you. Of course, I'm happy to be here, Radix, and of course I had to be a little earlier, but of course it was okay. And I trust we'll have a meaningful discussion this morning.
Overall impressions of the lineup was launched, I think, last week. Overall impressions of the lineup, the various genres, 25 and 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the lineup, I don't think much persons may have problems with it, unless, let's say, on a personal level. But generally the lineup. And I found something interesting in the lineup in that they brought back the flames and so on. And I recognize the silver anniversary, right? Silver Jubilee anniversary. So you would expect some of the old persons who had made it big in the initial stages would be called back. Glad to see Gordon Henderson and so on back on the scene and whatever. And I think the lineup is a reasonable lineup. I cannot have much problem with the lineup. It's also a crowd pulling lineup when you have people like Vibes Cartel and so on the lineup, and Spice and those persons on the lineup. But I have some misgivings of one or two areas, which as we go on discussion, I'll speak about in terms of the whole presentation.
Let's delve into the lineup. In terms of Afrobeat, Tiwa Savage. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her music.
Yes, I heard a couple of her tracks already.
Well, she's Nigerian and really one of the elite in terms of Afrobeat. And we have had several of the giants in terms of Afrobeat, from Burna Boy to Wizkid and those guys. Bracket. We'll take a crew call. We'll open about 11:30 or so. But she is actually one of the hottest Afrobeat artists presently.
Right.
And she was chosen.
I think it's a good choice.
It's a good choice.
She's a female as well. And to have her in Afrobeat and to have Spice, two giants and being female, it's going to add I don't want to use it again. You're going to add a certain level of spice.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
In terms of reggae, we leave reggae and we'll separate reggae from dancehall this time. Steel Pulse and Roman Virgo. Steel Pulse.
Well, what is
I
those
mean,
two groups? I mean, there's nothing you can say about. I mean, Roman Virgo is one of the best vocalists right now as far as the reggae music is concerned. You know, genuine song of reggae music. I mean, the last time he was in Dominica, I was quite impressed. I've always been impressed on his albums, but to see him live and so on, his presentation, you know, he could go across all age groups. In other words, the older persons can appreciate him, plus the younger persons can appreciate him. So I have no problem with Roman Virgo. Of course, Steel Pulse. I mean, our age group.
Yeah.
Steel Pulse. Why I haven't seen the guy? Legendary Steel Pulse. You know,
Yes.
and it's nice that on our Silver Jubilee we could bring back some of these guys. And yeah,
Indeed.
I endorse Steel Pulse.
well, what's your opinion on the reggae component, Val?
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Jacko. As I said, Still Pulse. I mean, this guy is go way back. I would have. I mean, yet again, I would have gone to Warner and find a discussion if Nasir from
Yes.
saying
Somehow, for this year in
for this
particular.
year in particular. you
Make
know.
some compromise, do the magic.
So, whereas
Get the Prime Minister to visit him.
No, I still said that too later. But
You know,
that's a
yes,
good point. That's a very good point.
I mean, who does that? You know, Nasir is right there, and I think he's by far. I mean, the greatest.
He's needed. He's
needed, yeah.
He's needed. He's wanted. He's in demand. These fans and friends. He's a stellar.
I guarantee you, if this man wakes up tomorrow and decides he's
wants
holding a show in the Windsor
Sold
Park
out,
Sports
sold
Stadium,
out, sold
it'll be
out.
sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out.
You know, and that's the power of the and yet again, what Dice is to Calypso, Nasio is to reggae.
In nominee.
Very conscious, very direct about what you know. He tells you how he feels in his music. So a lot of times we kind of hesitate, you know, to bring people like that. But that's my problem with the reggae. But David and still
Hines, yeah.
and still Paul Side.
But I think it's Nas. The onus is on Nasio, who thinks he just want to relax at this point in his career, unless if he can be convinced otherwise.
No,
and artists are very sensitive, like you know, Val.
Yes.
And you may not understand. We, the normal people, may not understand, but that is in a different sphere, you know. And he may feel at this point in his life, the stage is maybe not where he wants to be.
I beg to differ.
You think we should go after it?
No. You, as an artist, and Jacob can attest to that. You always have that urge and that feeling, even
think so?
Even that
I understood Nasir have over 100 songs that he can just release at any time.
Well, I tell you, he'll release it, but when he's ready, he'll release it.
Yes.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter what you do. There's this
He
urge,
still wants
you
to
know,
come on
and
stage.
yeah, you
Like Scrunter retiring 5 times.
yeah.
Okay, we head across to the compa and we have Joe Duet Filet, New Look, Oswald, and from Dominica Ecstasy Band.
Yeah, well, Ecstasy, I mean, these guys have been doing phenomenal work, you know, in the compa. I think they stand alone in Dominica, doing that work consistently. And sometimes even when they produce a new album or a new song that I've heard, I always think it's actually a Haitian group, you know.
Yes.
And whenever they announce Ecstasy, so I think they have done a lot of good work. And remember, we was doing an interview previously with Gordon Innocent, and he praised about the compa, you know, under the Calypso genre and whatever. And another thing that is also missing in that stuff is that it was a good time to bring in a guy like Dice.
Yes.
I mean, we started this thing and we had Calypso. Calypso was a permanent fixture of the Creole Festival, you know, many years ago in its initial stages. And it just dwindled out. And I think now is also a time for compromise. Compromise with Nasio, or compromise with Dice, you know, Calypso Association, to have Calypso represented.
But for those who may not know, there was a relationship between Eddie
Nicholas,
as events director and Ghost and the old school.
There was.
I think you were part of the executive then, Jacko.
Yes, I was.
But then there was a lovely relationship between you guys. And I even recall the Calypso Association then, you would advance,
of course,
DFC in the early days, 1998
right
funds, because they would kind of come together to set up the venue for the Calypso Carnival season.
For sure.
I will make 2 points. One, Ecstasy with the compa. We have not done well with them as a country.
Yeah,
they're very talented, and we have left them on their own.
Yeah.
And every time the Creole Festival come, we talk about how good they are in compa. But we don't want them to be good in compa in Petit Savane.
Yes,
we want them to be good in compa in Paris, in the Middle East. So we need to package Ecstasy and get them out there. 2, the other thing, Dice doesn't only sing Calypso. we just lost a giant of the Kadas music in Fitzroy Williams, God
Yes.
rest his soul. And Fitzroy nurtured Dice in Kadas. Why isn't it possible that Dice could be given a little shot? Just to put, you don't even think his controversial calypso is fine, but in a tribute to a man like Fitzroy, who started with Gordon in the Kadas era, you could feature there's this whole album that he has created for Dice, and some of his works, and give Dice to do some Kadas,
But even at the tribute festival when we honored Fitzroy, Dice sang the whole repertoire, and exile songs, Fitzroy songs, and I mean full impact, rock the entire perimeter.
So you see how quickly we forget people, right?
I know.
But if we were thinking of the contribution of people like Fitzroy and what they have done, Dice would be on that list. Singing that as a tribute in the Kadas area. Not only, we have good Kadas people in Gordon, in Ophelia, in Linford, and who else we got? We got Jill.
The Kadas is Gordon, Ophelia, Linford, Jill Fontaine, Halibut, Elijah Benoit, Michael Anderson, Midnight Grovers.
No, you brought back Elijah.
Yes. So you can expect him and
Michael to do stuff together.
To do some stuff together.
I remember him. He came in years ago when I was there, and then he went down quiet. But he's back. It's good to have Elijah.
Yes, because I think that musical component was very important in the early days when Eddie at the time had that compilation for like a memorabilia.
Right.
Although I had other ideas at the time, but then that was it because I felt it should have been an all-inclusive memorabilia. But then, like I say, at the time, it was felt new music was the time and the order of the day. But I felt if you could have had an RSB, Rough and Ready at the time,
as a compilation,
some Kadas guys at the time, even include couple Zouk as a memorabilia of WCMF, as ones can actually return when they come to Dominica with. But then that particular project, we saw what it did for Mikel's career. It really spiraled Mikel's career. And also Jose is still a signature. Jose Voyemote is still a signature. Let's go to Bouillon. I think a jam pack. I can't recall any, and the Bouillon artists that are available: Asa Banton, Triple K, Signal Band, WCK, First Serenade, Quan, Little Boy, Kenny G, Pooders, Ridge, Roy, formerly of Serenade and Raw Rhythm, Shanika, Ebony Empress, Trilla G, Nice, Rio, MJ, Fifi, and Fifi Riot. That's it for a little Guada Bouillon in between.
Yeah, but I guess the Bouillon component may be a collection of artists together on one set.
Yes, they have several sets. Apart from, let's say, I would imagine Asa will have his own set. Signal. Triple K, Signal. But WCK, Serenade, I think the others may be grouped into a set. Because there's that young lady, Ebony Empress.
Yes. I know St. Martin, yes.
St. Martin. And she has been doing her stuff, traveling. But then, like Val said, I'm not sure if you share the same opinion, we should have made a concerted effort with WCK, with Ra.
Oh yes. I mean, certainly.
And even Serenade with Roy and our partner that's there with Serenade now. Lloydie. So somewhere along the line, because a lot of the original songs, Roy is on the lineup, possibly should have been played. I'm not sure if that's the setup, but then we know for sure Ra is not on this particular WCK set. Why?
Yeah, well, that is a strange one. I think Ra is even called by most people as the godfather of Bouillon music. So, I mean, to have a 25th anniversary and not have Ra on the set, I find that's a misnomer. And a lot of times, the Creole Festival committee says, well, they go along and they ask persons for, to suggest groups that should be on and so on. And sometimes I'm very skeptical of that because even the discussions we now start having here, I'm sure persons probably like Val, obviously, was maybe not approached. And certain people in the know should be approached, I think, to find out, what it is. You think, because you do not only have to go and seek out the young people, the youth alone, because the 25th anniversary is a big thing. So you have to go beyond that. And there's no way you could come to a man like me, and I'm sure to you, Addicts of Val, or person that ilk, who have been in music, last
week I was on national radio calling for Ra to be part of the setup.
Yes, of course.
Mainly because of his contribution. He's a signature voice for Bouillon music. And even before Bouyon music, for those who don't know, Ra actually performed If Kada Sleeps, so Liquid Ice Earth.
Oh yes, yes.
Liquid Ice Earth. And for our 25th anniversary, it
should
a
be
little should be on.
It should be on.
And should be on with CK. Some compromise should be made because I mean the Flames broke up.
Yeah, and
Like
now
we
they're back
know,
again, yes.
and they perform together when
yes.
they need to. Carry Me broke up. They perform together when they need to.
Yeah.
And otherwise they are vibe and they are
Of course,
Kai.
of course.
So I believe regardless to what the fans, every Bouyon lover, especially those who remember the Bouyon from inception, would have loved to see WCK.
And to also be more...
and it will also be good to have all the other guys, the Nye,
yes, of course,
the Skinny, the Clint, but with Ra singing some of the signature sounds of WCK.
Because it's the development of the music, so the development of Bouyon falls in line. And the other thing I think that's a problem for me. We are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Creole Music Festival in terms of the editions that we have had. We have failed our artists over the 25 years because we have not yet been able to recognize people. Right?
Yeah.
So we should be falling in line where almost like there should be an awards, the Dominica Awards, Music Awards.
We used to have awards during the festival.
We have the awards. I remember we gave he died, the guy from Trinidad. We gave him a gold medals
but Kassav received an award from the Dominica Festivals Committee.
Right. That should be, to me, should be considered in terms of how do we recognize these people, because we're bringing back a lot of the nostalgic feel, right? No one knows when, but we can recognize them, especially while they are on island, and give them what is due. I remember years ago I suggested the Kadas Day.
Yes. Yes, okay. I recall that.
I recall the Kadas Day. The Bouyon Day took off. Yeah. The Kadas Day
can still get on.
It didn't go on because Gordon was speaking from the wrong hymn sheet. Okay?
He's listening in reunion. He's listening in reunion.
Everybody felt it was a good suggestion, but when they saw the name Gordon Henderson, because he was singing from the different hymn sheet, they decided, well, that's it. Okay?
So he should be singing from which hymn sheet?
So we should say on the 25th anniversary, we bring in Gordon Henderson and Exile 1 and stamp that Kadas Day onto the calendar of activities for Dominica. So moving forward, we don't going to have that discussion again. So we have Bouyon Day. It happening in the Monday, Tuesday of Carnival. Kada's going to happen. So these are two elements that will fall in line. Then we can have now something similar to what you brought in years ago, where we had the Mama and the Papa Creole shows. And so the French people who adore these persons will want to always be part of it. The Creole Music Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, why don't we put Gordon into that? Why don't we put Ophelia into that? Why don't we put Chubby into that? Don't let this period pass by.
Fitzroy.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. You're talking about even big media. Yeah. I mean, you look at the wall at DBS Radio and you pass there. Yeah. I mean, DBS celebrates a big anniversary as well. Okay,
over 50 years. 71 to 54 years.
The music, that is a wall that is just wasted there. We could put some pictures of the musical icons right on that.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, wherever we can, and make things happen. Because if we don't, it means therefore that we're going to be the young generation. Because if we practice that now, in 10, 15 years, God spare our lives, they'll forget Pudas, they'll forget Reach, right? They'll forget who Kenny G was, because we're not putting people into the packages that they need to be historically to keep their name there.
Yes, but then you could see, I believe there's a complete Bouyon package from the Genesis to the new generation, and everyone is inclusive except in Ra. And I believe that he has done enough to be part of it. And I'm not sure why.
I think that's an error. I think it's a strange omission.
Possibly when he's no longer with the band.
Yeah.
Because the band plays without him.
No, we understand that. But then I believe individual artist. He has the raw rhythm. He did.
No, but then I believe even the band itself, whether they need a few prayers from
should approach him and
somebody like Val and Bricks, I think, would get that together.
No. If the WCK band wants Ra to play with them on the show,
he will.
Ra will play.
So, yeah. But I'm saying we need.
No, but then besides not just the WCK, the people we in Dominica need to see the WCK, we fried everybody. Fingers and
Yes, yes.
whackers.
Smokey and all the boys.
Smokey, forget the difference.
Let me tell you, you can sing balanced batty from now till
And without right,
We
not
don't
the
write
same
up there.
thing.
I agree. Yes.
Without right,
Yeah.
not the same thing.
because if I make you sing my first calypso through my pocket, it's not the same.
It's
thing.
not the same thing. And sometimes you have to forget our egos
just-
and look at the bigger picture. Dominica.
I mean, for one night
One night only.
one night only. We
For the
don't
25th anniversary.
because
Yeah.
Jacko played in many bands.
Yes.
Right? You go on the stage. It's a business. I hold my bass, I hold my keyboard. When we're done,
We don't have to
Yeah,
talk.
that's it. Yeah, you don't have
Well,
to
look, we
talk.
just mentioned Carry Me.
you know,
We just mentioned Burning Flames and Burning Flames Dong. Normally, this guy is going to their own. Let's head to Cadas because I want us to open
Yeah.
the lines in a while.
Yeah.
And once again, Gordon Henderson, Ophelia, and we must recall that Gordon Henderson was the icon in the center of the first flyer, which
Right.
means that Cadas Calypso was the foundation
of the festival.
of the festival
Festival.
itself. Linford John making a big comeback, Gilles Fontaine, and Hallibutts.
Yes.
And from Bellscombe of Fame, Elijah Benoit, also part of that lineup. Michael Henderson, and
Princess
also
is there.
Midnight Groovers. Like I mentioned on another show, I would have loved to see Lobster, maybe part of the Midnight Groovers setup. There's a lovely young lady, she sings calypso also, Abia.
Yeah, yes.
You know, because what you're looking for is for sustainability and allow the music to
Grow, man.
younger people are involved. And I would also like to see like a White Fairy who won the Cadas Calypso competition for 4 consecutive years. As a matter of fact, he's the undisputed champion.
Yes,
the last
yes, yes.
champion was White Fairy winning his 4th crown. He has new material, original material, a Groover's flavor. I would get him possibly to even sing with Groovers, increase your set by 15 minutes, give Lobster 2 songs, give White Fairy 2 songs, but they will be part of the 25th anniversary.
But yes, if I mean we have a very long lineup. So I mean, I look at IO and Marvel having sleepless nights to put the timing together. With that.
Yes.
What I'm saying to we have Creole the park, the issue in the park, right?
Yeah.
We can also flavor it with those that we're talking about. Who
Yeah,
are not
Creole
on
in the
Yes,
park,
who are
yes.
not on.
the
But
forecourt.
it is still not the same.
I understand that the forecourt. So the development of the next generation of Cadas, you can have them featured in a particular and market it. You know, because White Fairy won 4 times, but what have we done to elevate
Yes,
White
yes,
Fairy
yes,
to
yes.
come to the level of
Yes.
of a Chubby?
Yes.
You know, we're just happy that he won a crown 4 times.
By the way, he sang when Chubby, Chubby normally take his breaks.
Right.
He actually sang with Co
Yeah.
and Midnight River songs for several gigs.
And I think Groovers books with him on his albums. you know.
Yes, they
Cope
work
and
with
do
him.
that stuff.
And normally on his albums or on his songs, Co normally plays guitar.
Right.
For instance, the Wadix tribute, Co plays guitar, so you can feel the Midnight Groovers feel. Okay, I think the lines are now open in case you want to contribute to make a comment on the special program. Let's go on to
Dance,
let's go to dancehall. Let's go to
yeah.
dancehall. Because I want us to touch on dancehall. Vibes, Cartel, and Spice thus far. I guess the king and queen of dancehall.
Well, yes. You
Lots of people have been against, especially the L have been against Vibes Cartel because of his
Yes.
profanity and
Yes,
sort of his
yes,
lyrical
yes.
content. But I think this one especially for economic purposes.
Well, contractually, if you have him in a contract and he understands what his role is, there are multi penalties if you go on stage and do what you're not supposed to do. You know, I remember when I brought Movado to Dominica, it wasn't an easy time for me because they felt that he was going to probably overthrow the government. You know? So and
Can we take calls?
yeah.
Okay, let's take our first call. Val Coffee and Ian Jackson in the building. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Fine for now. What's up, my friend?
Good.
Well, I'm so happy to when I heard one of you all mention that, like I said that yesterday, the songs die song of Fitzroy. At least give that to him. I told that to Matt. I said that on the air yesterday. I did it for yesterday. I did say that. Let him sing that. Let him do that. Fitzroy would be so maybe smiling from the grave to see dice on that big stage there, singing his song. And a lot of us, just like Nasio. When I look at the kind of crowd Nasio pulling that part of Africa there,
Yeah.
bigger than Dominica. From that's your heart. Following him in Africa. I visit Kenya here at that show.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that was there. Go to Nasio. Ask Nasio what he thinks. Let him say, well, I can't make it. But go to him. But when they go to the young people in Roseau and asking the young people questions, what they expect them to tell all you? Bring vice cartel, bring this, bring that. I mean, give me a break.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. More calls for Val Coffee and Ian Jackson. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat. Just take the notes, guys, and we'll have to review after the calls. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat.
Good morning, Walik, and Jack one, Mr. Val.
Morning.
Val,
Go ahead, caller.
Walik,
Yes.
Walik, Val said, we follow our legends too quick. Even the Carter's Day, it should be falling under certain names of our former past people. And what did you other event sometime about for Miss Ophelia? That day supposed to have a big show with some of our future legends, like you had a show on the strip. You see, you got pull up the cover, even the senior people. Some people was on wheelchair because they come out to support Miss Ophelia.
Yeah.
It's a compact you need to do. And what it, you're in the right place now. I would want to say to you, Alex, you are ambassador. You have the powers in your hand. It's not no more you're out, you're in. Do something in general. The week before the World Festival, do something like what Pesa does do. The week before the Creole Festival, try to let people come in before that week and do an tour with them and have different events in the different villages. For instance, Grand Bay, the East, the North, Marigot, Portsmouth. Have some kind of thing organized. And the city, what it's, you are inside now. You're not no more. You have the power. The city, do something for the city. Help the parliament. Contract. You have other there. You have World Shop in there. Contract these guys with some power holes. And I don't want to go into more detail. What it's, you cannot forget the indigenous people and the Rastaman and the Great Front. What it's, I respect you. I want to be rude to you. I know your levels. You know my levels. Do something for us. You have the Barracoon building. Speak to the Prime Minister. You have that big building right by the credit union. Get the small people to open it. We have money in the bank for small business. We have money. Let it down. Do something for Rose and the poor. Right? You come out Bala. Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you very much, caller. We'll answer all those in a while. More calls for Val Coffee and Ian Jackson. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat.
Gentlemen, good morning and good morning to the listeners of Q95. That's what the President of Kansas.
Yes. I am happy you called because we haven't heard any voice from the Calypso Association as to the non-inclusion of Calypso in this year's World Creole Music Festival. What do you want to tell us?
Okay, well, like all years, the Calypso Association, we always send in a proposal to the FC.
Including this year.
This year again, we sent in a proposal again early, and we got a response from the CEO Marva Williams, stating that our proposal has been sent up for review. So we are awaiting. We have not gotten any other response from her since that time. So we still have hope. The important thing. What did I say?
Yes.
So the important thing about that is that since the release of the lineup, we have seen the voice of prominent persons in media in Dominica on most of the most important talk shows, meaning that Creole Heartbeat, the show with
Martin in the morning,
95, as well as Peter Prosper show, and Matt Pelty. So all the important talk shows have voiced their opinion on the inclusion on their interest or the favoring of
inclusion of
Calypso has been on the festival. So seeing that our proposal has been sent for review, we still have some hope. And Marva stated on Facebook and on social media that there is more to come.
Okay.
So we're expecting that something good will come out this year. We are hoping that something comes out. So we're still awaiting a further response from the DFC and the government of Dominica. But I will say one thing, Wadix. Over the years, we have always been corresponding with DFC. We have reached points where we have even gotten contracts already with them. And halfway through the contracts, we get in a call that our proposal has been, not approved and those things. And people expect every year for us to come and be like a stock record, just making noise. But we figure out when you make noise with people, you kind of putting a distaste on the whole festival. So we try not to do that, and we try to go the diplomatic way instead, and try to convince them that Calypso needs a space. We deserve a space on the festival, and we should not be fighting and begging with a government or DFC for them to see the importance. I mean, Calypso have been there since 1956. We have served this country well. In the years, for example, after Maria in 2018, when DFC could not put on a Calypso show or put on a carnival, we were the ones who stepped in and entertained the people and released that frustration. Even during the 2 years of COVID, when DFC did not put on a carnival, we still figure out we needed to put out Calypsos for the people of Dominica, because that's what we're there for, to ensure that every year we put out something so we can satisfy the cravings of people, and we have been there doing that. So we have served this country well. Calypsonians has done a lot for this country, and we should not be begging and fighting every year like a stock record, fighting with DFC. It is time the people in DFC who are intelligent, educated persons see the importance of putting Calypso and giving Calypso a true. And then we have some people in the society that come with the ignorance about Calypso is not for Creole. That is bull. Let me
No.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Scholar. Have a wonderful day. Go and drink some water. And I can understand. By the way, you clearly articulated the position that is the Calypso Association wrote to the Dominica Festivals Committee requesting inclusion, and they are waiting.
Yeah. So that's his Calypso for next year. He's Calypso next year.
Well, that's a Jacko.
What I want to say on that is that it's unbelievable. I mean, for several years now, Calypso, as you know, have been trying to get into the Creole Festival with Swinging Stars, as they did, in the earlier days. And for this year, the 25th anniversary, and I thought when I was going to school, they said when they had like a poem teaching us, the only thing that does not come, that goes up and does not come down is your age. But letters in Dominica. Letters in Dominica. And I am sure you explained that, Wadix.
Yes.
There's a problem with also our government service in that respect, that people submit letters. It happened to me thousands of times. You submit letters to persons that's supposed to give you responses, and you never get a response.
No, but then the response was that the
but that's not a response.
The response from DFC that well, okay, I have been there, and Val would
I know what you mean.
Val would know, and possibly I'll allow Val to explain the process. Normally, when it leaves the band selection committee, what happens?
I'll tell you the problem we face. Right, when you get the letter, and you acknowledge the letter as DFC, you have to get your lineup in. It has to go through a process to go back into the cabinet room, and the brilliant minds they were event connoisseurs to decide exactly what is the next step. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the last reasons that I left DFC for was when I gave Dice a contract to sing for the opening of Carnival, and they decided that
you gave Dice a contract
to sing at the opening of
Carnival.
And that became an issue.
Okay. Why?
And I had to pull Dice out of the contract, pay him. Okay.
But why? Why was it an issue?
Because they didn't want him to sing. Right. So I'm saying, for what I would like Observer to do now as a Calypso Association is, we have not been given a spot, and we have been begging for a spot. We're up for review. So there are going to be tens of thousands of people in Dominica. Start working now. Get sponsors together. block the bayfront, get permission. Okay, get permission from the police. Calypso on the boardwalk. Calypso on the bayfront. And we bring swinging stars. We bring all the calypsonians and we invite everybody to come on down. We put a couple bars
on the bayfront.
On the bayfront. Okay.
But you need permission first.
We get permission. We're not going to do like anybody else and don't go without permission. We'll get the permission. What I'm saying is something that they should think of.
You're willing to help make that happen?
Well, of course, we have to make it happen. So we put Calypso somewhere. So the Creole
It may not be on the big stage in the park, but it will be live when
advertising
the
it all now. So that Calypso will be on that date, probably closer to the Independence November 3rd, or when before everybody go back. They'll be getting a heavy dose of Calypso before the next.
No, but then sometimes we have to go back in history. There used to be a Calypso competition during our
independence
time.
Yes.
We must not forget that.
I took part in that.
It used to be, I mean, it was themed around Dominica and positivity and that sort of thing. But Calypso was always around. And, one of the things I think we must, while revisiting, and it's positive, critical, it's Independence time.
Right.
And then we showcase everything Dominican. Our Creole culture and everything Dominican. So we mustn't allow our minds to focus and make it look like it is the festival season. It is the independent season,
right,
where we have everything Dominican on showcase. And Calypso is one of the things that we have. But let's hope that in one of the unreleased bands or sets that Calypso may be considered.
But we as a Calypso Association have to take some blame too.
Yes, the Calypso Association.
The elephant in the room for Calypso in Dominica is King Dice.
Yes.
And King Dice is a 10-time Calypso monarch of Dominica.
Yeah.
But the Calypso Association himself has failed
to promote
King Dice.
I've said that. Yes.
So when within your own association, you're not promoting the man who is the emperor, the man who stands out like the mighty sparrow of Dominica's Calypso. And you're not helping him to generate himself to go out there to big shows, to big concerts, to do all that. He's doing it on his own.
Yeah.
Right? So you are doing the same injustice to him that the system is doing to him. So now, because we are not on the big stage, it's not because they don't want Calypso, because if you put Calypso, you cannot put Calypso without inviting Dice to sing Calypso. Is Dice going to be allowed to sing the songs that make the blood pressure the politicians go up? No. So do you speak to him and say to him, well, okay, these are not the songs. Can you do a variation of the song and stuff like that? Look, now we have nasty business, right? We have nasty business on stage. What is wrong with Dice singing Calypso to the public?
I know.
I mean, that's a passing thing. So
I think it is something that should be considered.
So both sides need to wait to see how do we. So okay, we too have to take some blame for not promoting our art form the way it's supposed to be. Because we have
those who actually really heralded the monarchy, 10 times monarch, is not an easy feat.
Because
it's not an easy feat. You guys are Calypsonians yourselves.
Yes. To win once is not an easy feat.
Man, I
and
tell
to win
you.
10 times.
There are guys, Checker, 40 years and never won a crown. How many years? Picky.
No, look at
60 years and never won a crown.
Look at who insignificant.
HC, 75 years and never won a crown.
The only man who in his first year steps on the Calypso stage, becomes Calypso monarch, left the Calypso scene. Okay?
Yes. Trilogy.
And now Trilogy is by far Dominica's Marshall Montana of New York.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So to find himself musically, he had to
leave Calypso right? and go to
Bouillon. Okay? And there is making his big name. Yeah. If Trilogy had stayed in Calypso, would we be understanding Trilogy now?
You're right. So right. So right, more calls for Val Coffey and Ian Jackson. Let's go to the telephone. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, comrade. Good morning.
Morning, and how are you?
Good morning. Hold on a while. Let me just turn on my system a little bit.
Okay, that sounds like my very good friend, Mr. Clarence Christian.
Yes.
You're trying to make it short, sir? Yes.
Let me start by saying I know I'm talking to three of our most prominent cultural enthusiasts in Dominica.
Thank you very much.
I have no qualifications to talk on culture because I am not in your league. But let me say something, right?
Yeah.
Really Creole Festival.
Yeah.
The Creole Festival is an export, and I'm talking economics, not culture, right? The Creole Festival is an export. We're exporting an activity, and people bringing in, so that people can come into the country to bring in foreign exchange.
Yeah.
Right? You understand? You agree
Yes.
with me?
We with you, yeah, we with you.
Right. Now, Calypso has to be able to support that notion in bringing in people into the country to provide the level of foreign exchange for the development of the country, for the balance of payments, for foreign reserve, and so on. Bouillon has been doing this, and Bouillon, Bouillon, the same nasty business you're talking about, has been doing this, and from the existence of Calypso has never bring in the level of foreign exchange that Bouillon is bringing into Dominica. Never, ever. Calypso has never brought in the foreign exchange into Dominica.
Sir. I bet to stop you. I'm the host. And I bet to stop you. Dominica's name prior to Calypso was 0 on the musical stage. That's one. Calypso brought Dominica into the 4 corners of the globe. 4 corners of the globe, including all now so Gordon Anderson is in Africa singing on the Indian Ocean. Calypso was played at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Where no other genre from Dominica besides Calypso was played. And finally, if there was never a Calypso, there would never be, or we would never have the authenticity to say and to tell the Creole world that we have a Creole festival. Thank you very much, sir. Let's continue, guys. I had to cut off.
No, I agree with you,
because this, I think sometimes we get sidetracked and we must correct certain.
I mean, you have to give the caller the benefit of the doubt that clearly his opening statement was
he does.
He's out of his league.
Yes, and I believe he really.
So what you have done now is to take
him out of his league. Because you see, one of the things the caller and other callers have to understand. You're showcasing the best of Dominica to the world.
Yeah,
that's a part too.
And I must say it here today. When the festival was conceptualized and was put during the independence season, there were some major forces who said the festival was going to bastardize the culture of Dominica. Bastardize.
Yes.
So when we bring the foreign, we say for economic, and there must be a balance between people coming into the island and the culture of an island.
Yes.
And you must balance it, because independence is when we celebrate the best of Dominica.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to tell people about Emerald Pool and tell people about Boiling Lake, and you cannot tell people about Calypso. It is impossible.
Yeah, it's an institution.
It's an institution.
Yes, of course.
Calypso was the movement which gave Dominica the authenticity to say we have a World Creole Music Festival. And guess what? Calypso was part of Calypso from the inception.
That's why it was called Calypso.
That's why it was called Calypso.
No, I mean, you're talking about export. The during our carnival time, the biggest events are the Calypso events.
Yes.
Not the Queen show.
No.
Yes. Not the Princess show. It's the Calypso events that are the biggest.
No, but Calypso, and I will tell the caller and other callers, from the inception of the World Creole Music Festival, Calypso was always.
Yes.
And I will repeat again. I remember the days when the Calypso Association assisted DFC and gave them advances.
Yes.
Advance money with Ghost and Senator and Jacko and guys. Advance to organize the carnival season. So why no? I mean, if we don't have it or we don't want it, we can say we don't want it. But then we cannot justify why, according to Gordon, everything else stems from Calypso.
Calypso pays VAT every season. We do all it.
Everything else stems from Calypso.
Of course, everything stems from Calypso.
Even the same soca stem from Calypso.
Born right here in Dominica.
Calypso Dominica was one of the first places ever. Calypso. And by the way, I heard Observer talking about 1956 for competition.
Yes, competition, yes.
But then Calypso was something
before. The sound
that enslaved.
As a love yes, enslaved.
The enslaved sang.
Yeah.
And then it was, and how it came to Trinidad, guess what? Calypso came to Trinidad from Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad had about 4,000 inhabitants, and they wanted people to work that vast amount of land. And they brought in over 10,000 workers from Haiti that brought in the Calypso.
Mm-hmm. But what you're talking about there, it gives a more inherent problem, in the country right now, I mean, for a person of the status of, for instance, Mr. Christian to call and see that, you could imagine there are many persons who have his level and influence speaking like that and thinking like that.
Yeah.
And hence all some of our problems existing. Because Calypso music has been the basis of Dominica's music,
Yes.
The basis of Caribbean music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And for
Well,
you
I
to look
just
at it
give
that
it to
way,
you.
and you quite rightly talk about the balance.
Yeah.
Quite right talk about the balance. So while we entertain all the Kenny G's and so forth, the young generation, bouillon artists that are doing that, so you must pay tribute, and that's one of the things that we respect Jamaica for.
No, in other words, he's talking about Nasty Business, which did what they did.
Yes.
Now, the history of the bouillon music is involved in this lineup.
Yes.
You have from the Genesis to present times, including Nasty Business.
Right.
Everyone knew that I don't consume Nasty Business, but then it's part of the whole festival,
Yes.
and they also made an impact. Okay, so they are included. If I don't want to listen to Nasty Business, I go in the bar, I go outside. Okay, but then they are part of it. They also played a role in the development, in the journey
Right.
of bouillon music. We cannot run away from that.
No.
Okay?
Certainly.
But my point is, if we accepting guys who are jailed for murder and have no problem with it, and can dance Calypso and Calypso, then we have a problem.
Yeah. Well, I am the same level.
Then we have a problem, because I have no problem with any artist.
Right.
Because a man sin, a man can repent and be born again. But if we can accept people that were jailed for murder and do not have a problem with it, and we have a problem with all musicians,
right?
All they did was sang what they felt. Calypso didn't sing the pulse of the nation, what they feel, and we have a problem with it. Something is wrong.
But you could imagine what could happen if we expose our talents for the greatest export event that we have. If we expose
everything Dominican,
it means therefore that our foreign reserve will have the resources needed, because the Calypso themselves have paid.
But they are artists,
right? And they are artists.
$1,500 to record a song.
So when
they have their bills too, they have their families.
Like take for example, right? I see the Calypso finals, and one of the challenges that the Calypso, because Calypso could probably make much more money than they do now, but the price they pay for this little square in the forecourt to stifle people in, you cannot have a proper VIP, you cannot have a proper this. So they have to work with that. Now, if the Calypso Association had the resources they had and they decide, okay, we're going to build our own carnival village, you could see what could happen, the possibilities, right? But I think the issue of Calypso in Dominica is not that the music is not good. The elephant in the room is the Calypsos that seem to be not what the people in power want to hear.
But in my opinion, the Calypso Association have to take a lot of blame. You are the government of Calypso. Make Calypso good enough so that people can accept it. Calypso is always Calypso. But then if you notice that you're on a particular trajectory, you have to pull and wheel and come again and get people that can assist you to assist you.
Right.
Get people from Trinidad, from Barbados, from Antigua who has excelled, and get them to, because you're seeing what's going on. You have a fight on your hands, and you are responsible for the art form.
But I think both the government has to take some blame, the DC have to take some blame, the Calypsonians themselves have to take some blame, all right, in terms of working together, in terms of developing the product that they have. Because we have a good product.
Well, I think you, your priest, and the bishop should pray for everybody. But we have to wind up.
Yeah.
We have to wind up because we have the news major. Besides all that, guys, I believe this year lineup is going to, the perimeter will be overfilled.
Yeah, we're going to be.
Yes,
I
it's
think
going to
this
be.
year the festival is sold.
It's sold. It's sold.
And regardless to whether everything, I would really hope that the authorities looked at, a little inclusion here and there, discussions here and there to see how you can, compact things. But I believe this year, and everyone, I believe we should accept our responsibility and make this festival the greatest ever.
Yes, because the Dominicans will understand that the World Christian Festival is an all-inclusive Dominican party.
Yeah.
So we have to give it our all, from the food vendors, from the taxi men, from the restaurant owners, the hotel people. Everybody has to get ready now to be at their best, because we have the world coming to Dominica. And once the world comes to Dominica, the media that's going to be following this big acts that we have coming there, we cannot be not at our best behavior.
Yeah.
So everything has to be in line. We have to keep our weapons at home. We have to come prepared to enjoy ourselves. The pack is going to be really filled up. The DFC, they're challenged in terms of getting everything done properly, but they need the support, they need the direction, and people must buy the tickets. Don't try and jump the wall.
Yes.
Don't try and scam and do scams for tickets and stuff like that. So just be supportive, because at the end of the day, you may not make a profit, but the country benefits. The country benefits for the taxes, the country benefits through the sale of items and stuff like that. So we have to be guarded that we do not shoot ourselves in the foot by not being the best that we can be. I do hope that we'll make some changes in terms of for the in the park, Creole in the park sort of the activity, that we could give some new and upcoming talent some exposure.
Yeah.
Stop putting the same acts that are going to be on main stage, or we see all the time on that stage. So that should be the development.
And on all the fetes leading up to the festival. And then by the time they reach to the festival, they're almost tired.
Everybody's tired. And then even on the we have things going up until the day, the afternoon.
There was a document, and I must say that's the last thing. There was a document that I know the former Minister of Culture, Matthew Walter, in 2006, given the protection of the World Creole Music Festival, no foreign acts 30 days before and 30 days after, which would mean that perimeter is you protect the festival. If there is to be a foreign, it would have to be either for the Creole in the park or for the festival. But in those days, we are allowing a lot of fetes. And we have to remember, Dominica, this is the independence season. I was one of those that was under the fire for bastardization, and we made sure that the cultural gala was the biggest from the inception of the World Creole Music Festival, because we promoted the cultural gala as part of the independence season and an extension of the World Creole Music Festival, because the traditional and the contemporary makes Dominica the greatest country on the face of this earth.
Final words I want to say is that I support that we should support our festival. It's our festival, and this year, as I said, it's going to be a overflow of persons coming to Dominica, especially the addition of Vibes Cartel and so on, which we know the phenomenon. But we also have to have a judgment call as to, people pulling the pull ability of artists coming in, and also the moral integrity of our country. In time, that one performance, as has happened in other countries, for other groups and other artists also have actually caused a generation to move in a particular direction, which can have repercussions for the country. So we must also watch that. There's still room, I think, for an approach to be made to Nasty Fountain and also the Calypso. I think there should be, and
Derek
Rapitas, of course. So we should actually look at these three areas. And as Christian mentioned, that three of us are guys who have really been involved in there. So if we favor singing from the same hymn sheet in that case, I think it's something that should be considered. And I'm sure many persons, there's nobody in Dominica who would tell you should not have Calypso. The same way I'm sure you speak to Vibes Cartel now, I am sure the GFC might have made an approach, because there are some songs that Vibes Cartel is singing. It would not be possible probably for him to sing it in the Creole Festival. Bring him some songs. So the same way you speak
he produced songs that are not exactly.
So the same way you could speak to Dice, if you figure well you want to promote Dominica, them don't sing particular songs, and let's see how it boosts from there.
But Dice have a repertoire.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Can dance to songs. He have other songs. He can make a nice mix. He can make a nice mix of Kadas. Dice have soca songs. Dice have WCK.
I know that.
That's an artist that sang with WCK.
And that is in our stuff for people.
Dice started off as the Sanchez, as a reggae singer. If you recall, he was one of Clocker's crew. He was one of WCK. He's a 10-time monarch. Fitzroy Williams of all artists in the
We
world chose
certainly know
Dice
that.
alone
Yes,
to
yes.
sing on his album.
But all some people remember he sings songs against the government. All
Guys,
of this,
thank you very much for being here. I hope that we at least educated our listeners and viewers live. This was another Creole Heartbeat program. No malice meant, no malice intended, just to bring the hard facts across, because we all love Dominique and we love this World Creole Music Festival.
Right.
And we really hope that this year, by the way, that nonsense about shooting and so on, guys, you have to stop that. Them gangsters, stop that nonsense. All you fellas are, I have to say it in down language. For some reason, all of a sudden, now all Clint Eastwood out. Guys, we are expecting the world to come to Dominica. Let's be on our best behavior. And we are supposed to be the nature island of the world. Let's prove to the world that we are the Creole capital and the nature island of the world. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yeah, man.
God bless you.
Right on cue. Right on cue. Right on cue.